Hello. So in last video we saw how can we perform manual failure of our mirrored instance, and if I go back to my network diagram, as you can see here, this is my principal instance and this is my mirroring instance. And since we have configured mirroring between these two instances, whatever transactions I will do on my principal instance will get replicated automatically to my mirrored instance. Now, moment you will do the manual failure, what will happen is my principal instance will become the mirroring instance and my mirroring instance will become the principal instance. So basically, after doing the switchover or manual failover, my principal instance, old principal instance will not be accessible, and you will be able to access or do the transactions on your new principal instance. And whatever transaction you will do or perform over here, those will get replicated back to your new mirroring instance. Now in this video, we are going to see the second part of role switching, that is force service. Now, before we do that, let's understand why that is required. So if I go back to my network diagram once again, as you can see here, uh, we have formed a SQL failover cluster in our network. So basically, these two nodes are, this is the active node wherein we have installed the actual SQL Server failover cluster, and to that cluster we have added this node too. So basically, what will happen is if this node goes down, all services and shared drives utilized by this node 1 will get failover to node 2. Now, where those shared drives are configured, those shared drives are configured on this particular node. So this node basically is getting utilized for configuring domain controller, DNS server, as well as shared drives or SAN. Now, in this entire architecture or these between these three nodes, single point of failure is SAN, because if your node 1 goes down, still your services and shared drives will get moved over to node 2. But if your SAN goes down, there is no recovery. Okay, because if SAN goes down, uh, node 1 as well as node 2 can't access your drives. Okay, so that's why your instance will never come up if your SAN itself goes down. So and that's when the mirroring instance will come as a rescue or as a disaster recovery. Now exact same thing we are going to replicate in this video. So basically what we are going to do is we'll bring down this node, okay, and we'll try to delete even the MDF LDF files. So basically what will happen if master file or master database files itself are not available, you cannot fail over to node 2 because your data is missing. All right, so that's when for disaster recovery we are going to utilize this mirrored instance. So what we'll do, let's go back to node 1 now, and I will bring down the service first. So currently, as you can see, mirroring is going on. So mirroring is configured between my node 1 and even the mirrored instance. So let me go back. Come on. Perfect. So currently it is in mirroring state, the HR database. What I will do, before I stop the service and delete the MDF files, let's create a table. So if I go back, and since this is a principal instance, I can access this database, and as you can see, there will not be, you will not find any table. So uh, let's create a new table. I will create a employees table. Create table dbo dot employees id integer, name varchar, let's say 50, and created on uh, date time 2 3 and default it to get date. Perfect. Let's insert a few records as well. This is just to validate that replication is working fine. So moment I will bring down this database and I will try to access the other database, we should see those records and this particular table. So ID, name, values, 1, let's say. I will add one more record. Perfect. excuse me. So I have added two records now, and what I will do, and since mirroring is currently enabled, these records should get replicated immediately to our second instance or mirrored instance. Now what I will do, I will bring down this service, stop, and since this service is stopped, you cannot, I mean, it will not get failover to other instance. Service is stopped, and let's delete the MDF file as well. So what I will do, I will delete master database file itself. So your instance can't come up. So let's say master database file I deleted, and if I try to start that instance, it will never come up because master database itself is missing. It will error out. So this is actual disaster recovery. So this is actual. So let's assume in production, if your MDF file goes down or went missing, if someone mistakenly deletes that file, you cannot bring your cluster up. It's down. All right. So in that case, how can we recover our data? So how can we do the disaster recovery? So for that, let's go back to this documentation. So again, this is a link provided by Microsoft itself. What they are saying here is, so in high performance mode. So currently we have done that replication in high performance mode or in high safety mode without automatic failover. If principal server fails, so in our case principal server failed, while the mirror server is available, the database owner can make the available can make the database available by forcing service to failover. Okay, because failover was there, we haven't manually paused or manually removed the failover. Our instance went down while that failover or mirroring was enabled. Instance went down, so we have to force the mirrored instance to stop that mirroring, okay, or to remove the mirroring. So that's what they are trying to say. The database owner can make the database available by forcing the service to failover, okay, to a mirrored database. This option is available under all the following condition. The principal service down, which is in our case witness is off, so we haven't configured the witness drive, or is connected to mirrored server. So let's scroll down. Forcing service suspends the session and start a new recovery fork. The effect of forcing service is similar to removing the mirroring. Understand this. Removing the mirroring and recovering the former principal database. However, forcing service facilitates resynchronizing the databases if with possible data loss when mirroring resumes. Okay, now to force the mirroring, force or to use this second option, force service role switching, what steps we have to perform is connect to the mirror server. So we'll log back to mirrored instance, and we'll have to issue the following command. So what they are saying is, moment you will issue the following command, the existing mirroring will get removed forcefully. All right. So this is down. This will never come up. I will minimize this and let's go back to mirrored instance. So if I refresh, so currently as you can see, this is a prior state. It is showing in synchronized restoring state. But if I refresh, it's showing disconnected because your principal instance is down now. So what we'll do, as they have mentioned, to remove the mirroring now, I cannot access this. If I right click on this mirroring is disabled, this option. So we have to force remove that mirroring. So I will select HR, execute, perfect, and let's refresh. So let's see what happens. It will take some time. Okay, so if I will refresh one more time, it says in recovery, but if I refresh back, what it says is it became the principal and in disconnected state. So let's go back to the documentation one more time. What it says is, however, forcing service facilitates synchronizing the database when mirroring resumes. So you can still resume the mirroring. That's why it went in. So this became principal instance now. Okay, so if I let's go back. Forcing a suspend the session and starts a new recovery fork. The effect of forcing service is similar to removing mirroring and recovering the formal principal database. So that's why this became the principal instance. So if I right click now, I will get to see the different options. So let's say you recovered that master file over there. You can okay, I will try that. So I get to see this remove mirroring option. What else I can do is, so if I click on remove mirroring, I will be able to access database. We'll try that. So what I will do, let me remove the mirroring and let's refresh. See, I can access that database and let's see if I can see that table and two records in that. So dbo dot employees, that table is there. Okay, this worked perfectly fine. So we just saw how can we forcefully remove the mirroring. So basically the second way of role switching, force service. But there is something else I need to discuss. So what I will do, um, let me stop this and I will delete this guy and let me go back, and if I undo I will get my master database file. Okay, so if I try to start my service should get started. Perfect. Let's go back. If I refresh this guy, so it's currently in principal synchronized state. Let's remove the mirroring. Why it is not showing me that option? Okay, so because removing mirroring was already removed. Okay, so what I will do, um, let me go back. I will delete. So I have already deleted that database. I will take the full backup and log backup once again. So task backup remove, and let's say full v1, and I will take log backup again. Task backup remove, add log underscore v1. Perfect. And let me go back. So what I will do, I will start the mirroring one more time. So if I go back, I delete these, and these are my latest backups. Perfect. Let's restore database. First I will restore the full backup, and make sure you will restore that with no recovery option. Perfect. And let's restore transaction log backup, and why it is showing to, let me try one more time. Task restore transaction logs, devices, add log backup. Okay, and with no recovery. Something is wrong. So task task restore transaction logs from device, add Let's see. Okay, something is wrong. Let me take the log backup one more time. What I will do is, let me delete the existing log backup. It will be in C, right? Let me check. So task backup transaction log ZMS SQL backup log v1. ZMS SQL backup. I'll delete this and let me take one more backup. Task backup transaction log. Okay, and let's try. Okay, let's see. Task restore transaction logs from device. Okay, now it shows correct. It still says backup begins to recent. Okay, what I will do, let me delete this. I cannot even delete it. Let me bring that out of recovery. I think I am doing something wrong. Okay, I'll delete it. Let me take the full backup one more time. Let's delete everything. Let's delete everything. And this is my principal instance. Task backup remove full backup. Perfect. Let me take the log backup. Task backup transaction log remove log bkp. Perfect. I will now go back to my mirrored instance. Okay, let's see. Let's try one more time. Restore database, device, add full backup first, files. Perfect. And now let's try one more time. Task restore transaction log from device, log backup, options, no recovery. Perfect, it worked finally. Now let's try to establish a mirroring. Okay, so task mirror configure security, and I will be selecting no witness server. My mirror instance is this one. Next, next, finish, start. Perfect. Now let's see. Let's add one more record. Select star from uh, employees. Oh, the employees table is not there. It is there. dbo.employee. I will add one more record. Insert into employees, ID, name, values. Let's say 3, and I will add it. Perfect. So now I have 3 records. Now what I will do is I will again stop the service and delete the stop, and I will delete the master database file. So D SQL data, it is still not down. Services, okay, finally the services stop. So my instance will not come up now, even it can't fail over. So only wait for data recovery is my mirrored instance. So what I will do over here is let's execute the same command, and this time I will not remove the mirroring. Okay, we'll try to recover the principal instance. I should have selected master database. Okay, perfect. Now if I refresh, it should be in disconnected state. This should become a principal instance. Let's see, because we are forcefully removing the mirroring. Okay, so as you can see, this became a principal instance. If I go back to task and mirror, I get to see different options. First of all, removing the mirroring. So, but before that, what I will do, I will not remove the mirroring that we saw last time. Let me minimize this guy, and I will try to recover this instance. So if I undo, I will get my master database MDF file back. So I can start my instance one more time. So moment I will start my instance, let's see what happens. So if I will go back, okay, if I refresh this guy, now as you can see, this became a mirrored instance, because the other instance, which was actually the mirrored instance, became a principal instance. So if I refresh, it became a principal instance. Now either I can do the manual failover. Let's resume it, and if I resume it, I will get the option for manual failover. So now the mirroring is started, mirroring has started, and if I minimize, so this became my principal instance now. And if I go back to my other main node, it says suspended, right? If I refresh, synchronize. So mirroring gets established now. And since this was actually my main uh, principal instance, I will fail over now. Task mirror failover. So this will become a mirrored instance now. Perfect. And my original principal instance will be back. Perfect. So if I again, I get to see 3 records. So thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video.